I have a story from BusinessInsider.com. Microsoft laid off a DEI team, and its lead wrote an internal email blasting how DEI is, quote, no longer business critical. After Microsoft laid off an internal team focused on DEI, a team leader blasted the company for lack of investment in these efforts. True system changes work associated with DEI programs everywhere are no longer business critical or smart as they were in 2020. The leader of the team wrote in an email sent to thousands of employees, which was viewed by Business Insider. The email says the team was eliminated because of changing business needs as of July 1st. It's unclear how many employees were affected. The team leader, whose identity Business Insider has confirmed, did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Many tech companies, including Microsoft, made commitments to improve diversity efforts after the 2020 murder of George Floyd by a Minneapolis police officer and historic protest that followed. The historic riots, I would argue, but you'd also quibble about the whole, was it a murder or stuff, but I don't want to get into that. It's neither here nor there. In 2020, Microsoft pledged to double the number of black leaders within the company by 2025. The company's progress on this pledge is also unclear. Despite these commitments, many tech companies have appeared to retreat somewhat from the diversity efforts. Zoom laid off a DEI-focused team earlier this year, Bloomberg reported. Google and Meta also cut DEI programs last year, according to CNBC. Our DEI commitments remain unchanged. Our focus on diversity and inclusion is unwavering, and we are holding firm on our expectations, prioritizing accountability, and continuing to focus on this work, Microsoft spokesperson had said in a statement. Microsoft typically makes cuts to its workforce at about this time of year when its fiscal year rolls over. Lately, layoffs at Microsoft and tech companies in general have become more common. The company announced plans last year to cut 10,000 employees within the first few months of 2023. It has conducted additional rounds of layoffs since then. The thing is, like, this isn't like the pendulum swinging the other way. Like they're getting rid of some of this DEI stuff, but they're also now, and this is just my opinion. I could be dead wrong about it. I mean, I kind of hope I am, to be honest, but because I believe that they're just going to kind of rename it something else, and they'll put less money into it, but they'll still put money into it. I don't think. I mean, you kind of hate to say it, but it's almost like these companies are going to have to fail and fail hard for other companies to start getting the news that, hey, you know what, this is a losing proposition. Hiring all these DEI people are nothing but a waste of resources. You're hiring these people to look for solutions to problems that generally don't exist. I'm not talking, I've got nothing against diversity in the workplace and all that kind of stuff. Although diversity of thought is the most important one, but I understand we need to give opportunities to people, to people of color, to women, yeah, all that stuff. I've got no problem with diversity and all that, everything. That's fine, but to have this kind of forced diversity, to have this idea that we need a certain number of black people, because that's what it's all about. It's all about, do they have enough black people? So that's the only kind of diversity they really care about. Because it's just like with TV, movies, etc. and stuff. All they care about is how many black people are in these shows. And then, of course, you could argue that black people are actually overrepresented in terms of TV and movies and stuff, because if the number's over 15%, and I've seen numbers sometimes 20%, 20, 22%, something like that, depending on who you're listening to. Well, the black population is about 14, 15% of the United States population. That's overrepresented. Latino, Hispanic community, I think that's about 19%. Now, of course, these numbers are going to be, I haven't looked at this, I haven't done a census in obviously a handful of years, but the Latino, Hispanic people, 19% is the last number I had seen. There ain't no way in hell there's 19% of Latinos and Hispanics on TV and movies and stuff. Ain't no way in hell. Asians, that number I'd seen was 5%. You're not seeing 5% of Asians. 5% of the characters on TV, I should say, are Asians. I'm not saying that. So what the hell are we doing here? But anyway, like I said, just to repeat myself real quick, and then I'll wrap this up. I think that the DEI stuff, they'll start fading away because DEI has become toxic. It's not full on like nuclear kind of stuff where you just get away, but it is pretty bad. So they're just going to kind of rename it. I'm hearing some talk about like something called bridge and so on and such forth. They'll still put money into it because these companies don't mind losing money because they all believe that they're on the right side of history and other kind of gobbledygook garbage like that. And quite frankly, it's like, No, you're not. Again, this is my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong about it, but I don't believe that doing this DEI crap is benefiting anybody. I don't know. I think all it's doing is essentially you're poisoning the well for people who come after you, whether it's in your company or others or whatever. We're seeing it pervade and just spread out and infect other organizations, other genres, other businesses, and so on and such forth. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. I'll link this in the description box and read it for yourself. I read the entire thing. There's not a whole lot to it because, and it, a lot of it's, what you don't want to say it's speculation and stuff because we don't know the true reasons why they laid all this stuff off. And of course, some people are celebrating and anything that has to do with like the death of DEI, I do believe that we need to celebrate a little bit, but let's not go crazy with it. Again, maybe I'm too cynical, maybe I'm too pessimistic. I would love for the pendulum to swing the other way and we just get rid of this garbage and we go back to, the way things used to be, where the focus was on the quality of the work, how good is it, and all that kind of stuff. And yes, put a little, emphasis on, hey, let's try to bring in people who, who need opportunities, who want opportunities, who deserve opportunities, merit based, positions of and power and so on and such forth. But anyway, like I said, I'll link this in the description box and read it for yourself. Thank you very much for watching and have a good one.